I've been told I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'd like it back in my chest, please. Hey kids, welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank and I'm hoping that you are having a great day. In today's video, it might seem like I'm picking on Pokemon specifically, but this is more of a discussion about general trends and hype chasing, hype train hopping. I don't know the actual term, bandwagoning. No, that's not it. There's a lot of energy in the Pokemon world right now. There's a lot of people who have their eyes on the newest sets. Games, from game stores to collectors to investors to scalpers and flippers and all that sort. There's a lot of high demand for new Pokemon sets and sets from the last few years that have been largely ignored or overlooked by the wider audience have, as a result of the new stuff being so ludicrously expensive, have started to themselves go up in price as this general Pokemon fever resurges once again. And I do say again because this is not the first time it's happened, especially not in recent memory, where a bunch of Pokemon product suddenly skyrockets through the roof. None of it's available in any LGS. It's being bought at MSRP and flipped online for double or triple. And it's something we've all seen before. And it's not exclusive to Pokemon. It's just that the Pokemon TCG is where you see it the hardest because Pokemon, as you may or may not know, is one of the largest brands on the planet. It's absolutely huge, so when it happens to Pokemon, it's much more noticeable. But it does happen to other collectibles as well, where there's a hype-driven market spike. I don't want to call it a bubble, but it's... I know a lot of people call what's happening in Pokemon right now a bubble, but I prefer to refer to it as a spike. Now, one thing that I really need to stress, and that a lot of people understand it intrinsically, but a core concept in finance is to buy low and sell high. And while a lot of people understand that concept, like in theory, there's a lot of people, especially in the investor market for TCGs, who don't understand it in practice, especially when it comes to extremely active, very popular, well-hyped sets like Prismatic Evolutions, or even singles from those sets, like the Umbreon Special Illustration Rare, where these cards are ludicrously expensive, and the sets they come out of, you can't find them anywhere for MSRP. They're usually double that or more. But what a lot of these people will do is they won't be thinking with their basic understanding of economics. Instead, they are thinking with this almost twisted concept of economics where they look at where Pokemon is right now, where they look at where these products are right now, and they see that new price point as the low. They can only see it going up. And it's been kind of a meme in the TCG finance community for a long time that Pokemon only ever goes up. But it's important to remember that that's not necessarily true, and that while, and even in the instances where it is true, if you buy into something that's already experienced a huge spike in value on release, before release, weeks before release even happened, you are missing out on opportunity costs that could be put elsewhere. And what am I talking about there? Well, more specifically in this video, I don't just want to talk about, I don't just want to say don't buy the new Pokemon stuff, because it is good. There are really nice cards in there. I'm not going to lie about that. But if you're looking to buy the new Pokemon stuff as an investment vehicle, as someone who thinks that this stuff is going to go up in value, then I urge you to, at the very least, consider there's 20 plus years of Pokemon cards going back to base set 1 That is, especially when these market spikes hit, when these huge hype trains roll around, they tend to get overlooked and overshadowed. And there's a lot of really cool stuff in there, not just sealed product, but singles as well. And some really odd side products that I won't go into today, but I hope to get in for a future video because I'd like to have some on my shelf. I mentioned in, I believe it was my last video, about the Ancient Mew promo card and how much I love it. Well, it's not the only promo card I like from Pokemon's earliest days. I mean, I've got this bad boy. This actually just arrived today, which is why I'm making this video. This is the Black Star promo Entei from the third movie, I believe. I've actually been wanting to pick this up for a long time, and I absolutely love the foiling on this card. That, doesn't it look like it's just an inferno raging around the Entei? I love it. That's just so beautiful. And promos like that card, really nice, really old promos that I guarantee are not exactly commonplace these days, those are overlooked by a lot of the wider community. Cards like base set 2 Charizard. I know it's not base set 1 Shadowless first edition Charizard and a PSA 9 or 10 slab, but base set 2 Charizard is still pretty cool, and it costs a lot less than the newest Umbreon or even the old Moonbreon, and it's worth collecting. And it's a fairly rare card, even with its base set 2 status. There's a lot of cards from Jungle or Fossil that are very cheap, I believe, and very collectible. Gym Challenge, Gym Heroes. I love Gym Challenge and Gym Heroes Sabrina cards. It's my favorite gym leader from Gen 1, and I think a lot of those cards, not just for her, but for Blaine and Brock and Giovanni especially, I think those are pretty collectible too. But there's also all kinds of weird side products in Pokemon's past. I'm not going to get into all of them because there is a lot. But when you look into Pokemon's past, and not just its ancient past, its recent, relatively recent past, there's a lot of single cards, like the amazing rare cards, these otherwise normal Pokemon that just have this really nice rainbow bleeding through foil effect that kind of like it bleeds through the card and it looks really nice. I think these are great, and I've been grabbing a few of these over time just because I think these are really overlooked and really beautiful. There's recent sealed product and sets that I think are hilariously overlooked, like Pokemon Go. And yeah, I know that there's at least one guy out there who wants to like hunt me down with a rock and beat me upside the head for shilling Pokemon Go, but I really do like it as a set. I have to be honest, especially with the Ditto cards. I think those are great. But it's not just Pokemon. Now, keep in mind that if you are interested in only Pokemon, you don't play any other games, then obviously I understand you want to just focus on that. It's fine. But if you're someone like me who, collects, buys, and sells all kinds of card games, then when you're looking at something like recent Pokemon sets that skyrocket in price on release, if you're like me, then you tend to look at other things in recent years that have been overlooked by the wider market because of what I said earlier. Buy low and sell high. For instance, there's a lot of, and I do mean a lot of, Yu-Gi-Oh sets in the last 2 to 3 years that have been largely rejected by the open market. And I've talked about this before, and I'm going to continue to talk about it on the channel, but there's plenty of examples of sets like Ancient Guardians, Lightning Overdrive, several of the decks that just, they come out and nobody is buying them, nobody wants them, and they have good cards in them. Lightning Overdrive has a Starlight Rare Black Rose Dragon. That's amazing. And it's a $40 box. You've got some really cool Yu-Gi-Oh sets that are just coming out and not selling and plummeting in price. And for someone like me, I see that as a really nice opportunity, especially someone like me if you want to get into collecting, buying, and selling, and you don't have a lot of money. Because I know it can be hard to believe, but I ain't got a lot of money. I'm not going out buying cases and cases of Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, or Magic. I'm buying a handful of boxes here and there and then selling them when they go up. Making a bit of profit as I go. It's fun. you know, but when you do have, you got a limited budget, you have to look at the opportunities that come your way. And when option A is buying one box of Pokemon, that might go up. It might go from 200 to 300 in a reasonable time. Or you could buy a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh boxes for $30, $40 a piece and buy several more of them than you could for that same amount of money. And those might go up too. They might not. It's a gamble. It's a risk you have to take. You could buy those Yu-Gi-Oh boxes and they go to fucking zero. But it's not a high chance. Yu-Gi-Oh, much like Pokemon, much like Magic, it's a collectible card game. It's got fans. It's got people who want it, people who are willing to collect it. And the more time passes, the more of those boxes disappear from the market. The chances of them staying $30 and $40, it's not high. Same thing with older Pokemon sets that are overlooked, be it tins, decks, specialty products, etc. The more time passes, the less likely those are to stay on shelves and be available at those price tags. So when you buy products that the wider market just kind of rejected and you buy them at a really good price, you start to look like a genius when it works. You look like an idiot when it fails. I bought some Akora boxes. Those are worthless now. I should mention my failures more often on this channel because I have bought several sealed products that just never went anywhere for any amount of time. But I'm confident with a large enough time frame that they will go back up again. It's always nice. But what I'm trying to say is, you only have so much time. You only have so much money, in theory. And with every decision you make, opportunities for another decision are lost. So you have to, oftentimes, in the heat of the moment, make a choice between one option or another. And I tend to find, for myself, that if I can get more for less, I tend to like that choice more. If I can get one booster box for $200 or, I don't know, 6 booster boxes for $200, I'm going to go for the 6 booster boxes. The chances of them going to $300 a box is much lower than the $200 box. That's true. But it's a lower price point per item, and the chances of them going up is still not zero. In fact, it's not even under 50%. Chances of them going up is decently high. All it takes is the right card from the set to see meta relevancy for a Yu-Gi-Oh box to skyrocket or for a Magic box to skyrocket. Let's pick on Magic a bit. So, at the end of the day, I suppose I'm not trying to say don't buy the hyped stuff, because I'm not saying that. If you are somebody who really wants these prismatic evolution cards or the Journey Together cards or the Team Rocket set that's coming out later this year, that's going to be... I almost guarantee I'm going to want cards from the Team Rocket set, and I have no idea how I'm going to get them. If you're someone who really wants those cards, buy them. But if you're someone who's price conscious and is trying to build an inventory and a long-term assortment of sealed product, just remember that a little money in the right place can go a long way in the long term. That's really all I'm trying to say here. And of course, this isn't financial advice. I'm just an idiot. But I don't know. Just be smart. And remember that hype is hype. And just remember what happened last time Pokemon was like this, where everyone was freaking out about Pokemon. Everyone needed a box. And then suddenly, over the course of Battle Styles and Chilling Reign, I think it was, suddenly the hype was gone, and a lot of people were left holding on to sealed product that was not worth what they paid for it. I remember that. That was fun. Anywho, that's all I got for you kids today. I hope you enjoyed. Of course, you can do all the things to help the video in the algorithm, like, share, blah, blah, blah. And remember, your uncle needs to get healthy. So for every one like this video gets, I'll be doing one push-up in the next one. I'll see you kids then. My last video got 16 likes. That's 16.